The original version of this video was posted back on May 22nd, 2012, during my year-long quest to post a video every day for a year. Recently, while strolling through my creator studio, I noticed that the video had been removed due to misleading title? Okay. The initial title of the video was Travis Watches The Shining, in which I did not use any actual footage of the 1980 film. Instead, I just used timestamps to reference the point of the film I was talking about. Perhaps the lack of moving images from the actual film irked some viewers. Or I pissed off a cabal of whiny, pretentious Kubrick fans because they didn't like my opinion of the film. 'Cause, God forbid you don't give the highest of praise to every frame of film that was shot by their idol. Just imagine what they would think if they knew I didn't like 2001: A Space Odyssey either. Dull, 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 boring! For today's video, I'm going to watch The Shining. Now, I've never seen it. Okay, I've seen it, but usually on TV with commercials and stuff cut out due to content issues. But I've never actually sat down and watched it the way it was meant to be seen, uninterrupted, unfiltered. And it often pops up on best of list, favorite horror movie list, scariest movie list. And every time I hear that, I'm kind of reminded, well, you've never really actually sat down and watched it. So that's what I'm doing today.
Planet Beerwagon.
The only thing I really know for sure about The Shining going in is even people that claim to love it can't seem to spell it. I've lost count of how many times I've seen somebody post online, I love The Shining! One N, people. One N. Basic Spelling 101. Back when I originally posted this video in 2012, my Shining rant drew a few comments along the lines of, "But, Travis, I think when people say The Shining, they're talking about the Simpsons parody, because that was called The Shining." Yeah. Because that's how it works. I've seen so many people say my favorite horror movies are Suspiria, Dawn of the Dead, and that Shining spoof from that one Simpsons Halloween special. The first 3 minutes is driving and driving and driving and driving and driving and driving and driving. If this thing didn't have Stanley Kubrick's name on it, I think the MST guys would have a pretty good time with this movie. When the Jack Nicholson character shows up for his interview, he tells his potential boss that the drive took him 3.5 hours. Did they have to show the entire trip to us in real time? Ah, Shelley Duvall, the epitome of 70s movie moms. The other thing I always think of when I see Shelley Duvall is olive oil. Not just because she played her in the live-action Popeye film, but, well, because she looks like olive oil. So the guy who runs the hotel tells Jack about this guy who previously had the job, who wound up going crazy, killing his family with an axe and sticking a gun in his mouth. If he had just known that Jack was a hypochondriac, we could have avoided all of this. The air feels so different. Yeah, that'll happen when you're driving in front of a green screen. Ancient Indian burial ground? That always leads to good times. Ooh, Room 237? I used to love that show back in the 80s. Mary? something different. Oh my god. The kitchen tour is so horrifying. You see the conditions of that walk-in freezer? Somebody call Gordon Ramsay stat.
That wouldn't even pass as fucking kitty cat fucking cat food!
So, did that guy just compare repeating non-corporeal phantasms to burnt toast? Okay, I gotta give props to the Big Wheel segment from switching between the hardwood floors and the carpet, just kind of burnt. That had to sound amazing in a theater. And the hedge maze. Don't go that way. Never go that way. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. At least he varied up the page settings and whatnot. I just imagine all the fun he could have had nowadays with all the various computer fonts he could have downloaded. Back in the late 70s when this movie was made, some poor prop guy probably actually had to sit down and type out all those pages by hand. Pooh Bear BJ! Here's Johnny! Come on, we could do better than that, right? Here's Johnny! Here's Johnny! And the winner for best impression of a frozen pizza goes to Jack Nicholson! Or maybe that was just a photo from the Coke-fueled rap party. The cold never bothered me anyway. So, to sum it up a bit, this movie has invisible friends who live in your mouth, a red rum, necrophilia, and those twins. I guess perhaps maybe I'm a bit too old and jaded to find it horrifying, to put it on my scariest movie list. I guess I waited too late in life. I will admit that has some very creepy visuals, and I can see why it's considered such a classic. One other thing that I did notice, there's lots of quiet. I mean, sure, there's music and ambient noise, but there's a lot of just not talking. I don't think a large percentage of the audience these days can handle a movie unless it's constant yap 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 yap. You know, if they can look away from their cell phones long enough to notice.
You're a first-class cunt.
Thank you for watching Planet Beer Wagon. Subscribing would be greatly appreciated.